be stronger, not just in your body, but in your mind. You want control, discipline, peace that doesn't crack under pressure. But every day, you're hit with distractions, insults, failures, opinions that don't matter, and they stick to you. They drag you down. So let's look at the one man who ruled the world and still had to rule himself. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, a philosopher, a warrior, not a monk in a cave, not a professor in a library. A man who woke up every morning to war, betrayal, politics, and death. And before he gave orders to his generals, before he judged governors, he did one thing. He picked up a pen, and he wrote to himself, "Be indifferent to what makes no difference." That emperor was Marcus Aurelius, ruler of the known world, but prisoner to nothing. He could have ruled with pride. He could have indulged. He could have chased applause, revenge, or vanity. But instead, he chased discipline. He chased reason. He chased what mattered, because he knew what few ever do. The most powerful man is the one who needs the least. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Because every moment you waste on what doesn't matter, you surrender to emotion, to ego, to noise." And so, he trained himself daily, not with swords, with questions. Is this within my control? Is this necessary? Does this change who I am? If not, let it go. Let it burn. This was not apathy. This was spiritual clarity. Because you are tempted daily to give your soul away to things that don't matter. The news cycle, the insult, the envy, the status update, the gossip, the memory. But Marcus Aurelius would say, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. You want peace? Let go of what was never yours to carry. You want power? Stop chasing things that pull you away from your center. Imagine this. You're betrayed by a friend. You're mocked online. You lose a job. You're passed over. Someone lies about you. And instead of collapsing, instead of reacting, you remember. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Power, not in violence, not in revenge, but in stillness. And in that stillness, order returns. Because clarity lives in quiet, and the Stoic man lives in clarity. Marcus wrote, "Soon you will have forgotten everything. Soon everything will have forgotten you." Not to make you sad. To liberate you. To remind you, you are not here to be remembered. You are here to remember who you are. He said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Look around. Most men today are addicted to outrage, to distraction, to anything that keeps them from facing the mirror, but not you. Because you will do what Marcus did. You will return to the center. You will ask, does this serve my mission? Does this align with reason? Does this bring me closer to virtue, or drag me into chaos? He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So build your thoughts like a fortress. Guard the gate. Let nothing in that insults your soul. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not every battle needs your sword. Not every slight requires a response. You are not a puppet. You are the puppeteer, but only if you remember. What you allow in shapes who you become. Marcus knew death would come. He faced it every day. But still he sat. Still he wrote. Still he reminded himself, this is not worth my peace. This is not who I am. This does not matter. He said, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. What matters? The work, the discipline, the breath you control, the fire you hold, and above all, the ability to look chaos in the eye and say, you do not move me. That is what it means to be indifferent, not heartless, not cold, but untouchable. You do not rise to chase praise. You do not fall to meet insults. You walk steady, because you know. Only a fool gives power to what makes no difference, but the Stoic, he lets it pass, like wind, like shadow, like noise behind a locked door. He said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. That's the mindset. Not to control everything, but to control yourself within it. And that is why Marcus still speaks today. Not because he ruled an empire, but because he mastered himself. Now go. Master your breath. Master your reaction. Master your focus. And be indifferent to what makes no difference. Picture a battlefield. Not one drawn on a map, but one hidden behind the eyes. That's where Marcus Aurelius fought every day. Not against Gauls or Germans, but against himself. Because the greatest enemy is not the sword of your rival. It's the storm inside your chest, the undisciplined reaction, the ego that demands recognition, the wound that begs for retaliation. Marcus called this war by name, the war against unnecessary suffering. He understood the difference between pain and agony. Pain happens. Agony is chosen, and it's chosen every time we let the external world dictate our inner peace. So he built defenses not of stone, but of thought. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. His journal wasn't just writing, it was armor. Because when your mind is untrained, every insult becomes a war. Every delay becomes a failure. Every loss becomes a wound. But a trained mind sees through it. And Marcus trained his like a soldier sharpens a blade. He wrote during campaigns, on the front lines, covered in mud and cold and uncertainty. When his men cursed the weather, he wrote. When disease spread through the ranks, he wrote. When Rome betrayed him in politics and honor, he wrote. Because the pen is the sword of the philosopher, and discipline is forged in repetition, he said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Simple, but try living by that in a world addicted to performance. Marcus knew performance fades, character remains. He saw through it all, fame, temporary, criticism, perspective. Death, inevitable. Peace, internal. He didn't rise with the sun to gain more applause. He rose to win one war, the war inside. Modern men chase dopamine. He chased stillness. That's why he said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." You want clarity? You don't need a vacation. You need mastery. Mastery of your perception. Mastery of your intention. Mastery of what enters your mind. Because most people today are not tired. They are fractured. Split between 1,000 petty concerns that don't matter. Marcus would ask, is this necessary? Not. Is it fun? Not. Is it popular? Not. Will I be seen? But does it serve my soul? This is how he survived the empire. This is how you survive your own. When they speak behind your back, stay silent. When the deal falls through, breathe. When you're overlooked, stand taller. Not because you're weak, but because you're anchored. He said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." You win nothing by mimicking madness. You gain everything by remaining yourself. In the heat of betrayal, Marcus didn't scheme. He reflected. He wrote. He refined the only thing he truly owned, his inner world. Because in a world of reaction, the man who remains unmoved commands. He becomes a ruler not over others, but over himself. And when you rule yourself, everything external becomes manageable, because nothing outside you can break what you have built within. You become like a fortress, like a Roman wall, standing not because the wind is kind, but because the foundation is true. Now ask yourself, what are you clinging to that makes no difference? What war are you fighting that is not worth winning? What thought do you feed that does not serve your becoming? Drop it. Let it go. Clear the battlefield. The war is not out there. It's in here. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. You are not at war with the world. You are at war with your reaction to it. Win that war, and you will become unshakable. And you win it by remembering, be indifferent to what makes no difference." Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his greatest legacy wasn't carved in stone. It was written in solitude, not for the Senate, not for history, for himself. And what he left us wasn't a strategy for conquest. It was a mirror held up to the soul, to remind us who we are and who we could become, if we had the courage to stop chasing shadows. Because in the modern world, you face temptations he never saw, endlessly scrolling opinions, manufactured outrage, digital fame with no depth. But Marcus faced something just as dangerous, his own ego and his response. It is in your power to withdraw yourself whenever you desire. Perfect tranquility consists in the good ordering of the mind, the realm of your own. He trained himself to care about only what he could control, and you must do the same. In a world designed to pull your attention toward what doesn't matter, Stoicism is a rebellion, not one of violence, but of focus, because power now doesn't live in your sword. It lives in your selective indifference. He wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." That's leadership, not pride, not performance. Truth. He didn't build his life around being right. He built it around being aligned. And that's the challenge for modern men. Can you look in the mirror, not the camera, and ask, is this helping me become who I'm meant to be? Or is this just helping me be seen? Marcus reminds us, it never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. So stop chasing approval. Start chasing clarity. You don't need more likes. You need more alignment. Ask yourself, is your attention guided by what's urgent or what's eternal? Are your habits shaped by noise or by nature? Are your standards inherited or chosen? He said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So what color are you becoming? Because every distraction is a decision. Every indulgence is an investment in the man you'll regret. And every moment of awareness is a return to center. So build a life that can be mirrored without shame. A life of order, of truth, of inner silence. Marcus was not perfect. He didn't claim to be. He fought his impulses daily, but he fought, and he wrote, so that you would remember that the mirror is not a place to admire yourself. It is a place to correct yourself. Now go. Turn inward. Be honest. Be still. And remember, to be indifferent to what makes no difference is not detachment. It is direction.